Uh, awesome. Thanks for reminding me. Welcome, everyone, to our last general meeting of the year. We will not see each other all again until the start of the year. So thank you for attending. A few topics for us this evening, not too many, but as we did last time, I would love to start this meeting with an opportunity to talk about why we are all here. So anybody, I would love for you to raise your hands and tell me something that happened at the school since we met last time that brought joy to your heart, is funny, something that can make us all remind us why we're here. There are no volunteers. I'm happy to go, but I would love for someone else to jump in. Lisa.
I just wanted to share and thank you for putting the book fair together. I have a couple of students whose parents I haven't seen in a while, and they did make the effort to go attend the book fair, and they were so excited. They purchased some books and they were excited to read at home. So thank you for providing that opportunity for that family and many families.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome to hear. Thank you so much.
I was going to share a similar story. I got the privilege of being able to be a kindergarten teacher for about 40 minutes today. I was good after 40 minutes. So Miss Gustafson, our kindergarten team is amazing. But it was kind of an impromptu moment, and there was a stack of books on the tables. And I was like, okay, have you guys read these books? Have you read these? And they're like, no, those came from the book fairy. And I said, the book fairy? And they said, yes, the book fairy brought those. And I said, well, who's the book fairy? And they all went, we are. And they all were just so excited to tell us which books their parents had gotten for the teacher from the book fair. And so it was Ruby Bridges week. So there was one for Ruby Bridges. And I read one of those today to the kindergartners while we've sorted a few things out. But the book fairy is one of the highlights of my week. So
that is awesome. Thank you for sharing. Speaking of the book fair, huge shout out to the community. So many parents bought books for the school. I think we had like a 99% donation rate when it came to people rounding up for donations for books to the school. So a huge thank you. Quick funny story from the book fair. I think a few of you have heard me tell this, but on Monday, one of the busier days, I was working the register and Kat joined me. There's a rather long line. I looked over at Kat and I was like, why is she taking so long with this one customer? And I realized that this one customer was a little girl who had brought like $20 in change, not in dollar bills, in like actual coins. So I just saw stacks and stacks of pennies and quarters and dimes getting stacked up. And I think the little girl had like 5 books for like $55. Then we had to decide, well, you can't get all this. You can only get this. So it was quite an adventure. But that is awesome. Thank you for sharing. Let me go and share my screen here. Can everyone see that? Awesome. So the executive board is here. I think we've introduced ourselves, but I would like to take a quick moment to introduce our new co-treasurer. Adana has joined us. Adana, are you able to introduce yourself? No worries if not.
Hi, Adana. As Eugene mentioned, I am a new parent at Lietz. I have a 4-year-old who is in Miss Smith's TK class. So super excited to be here. Don't know what is wrong with my camera, but super excited to be here. Oh, it's working now. Okay. Super excited to be here. I am, originally from Nigeria. I've been in the US 10 years, so really learning about the American school system along with my son right now. But it's been really fun kind of meeting everyone. So yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Adana, again, welcome. One quick advice. When you say that you have a TK student, I think most people here translate it as yes, we have her looped in for a long time. So again, we are very happy to have you with us. The agenda for today, we will go through Secretary's report, Principal's report, Teacher's report, comments from the DEI committee. We'll talk about the programs and volunteer opportunities, Treasurer's report, and then hopefully we will end this meeting. We already introduced the executive board. We have 3 positions up at the 3 people leaving us at the end of this school year. So if you know of anybody who would love to be a part of the board, or maybe not love, but is at least interested in being part of the board, please send them our way. I'd be more than happy to talk to them. Sarah, let me go ahead and pass it over to you.
Do I have sharing capabilities?
You should. I think I got it right this time.
By the time we finally figured out, I'll be like out of here. All right, can everybody see my screen? All right, great. All right, so I'm just gonna slowly scan down, and y'all can move this out of the way. And just let me know if you see anything that needs to be edited. Wait, is this for? I might be showing you the wrong tab. Hold on. Okay, this is the right one.
Jen Petroff has 2 Fs.
That might be true. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Slow down just a skosh, please.
Going fast so you catch less stuff, Jasmine. And now it won't let me move. It's frozen. Okay.
Pardon me.
Bless you. Gosh, we've done
I
so
hear
much.
my household in the background. It's like this all the time.
Can't hear it.
Oh, thank gosh.
Zoom below, I gave Amira a recorder. Now it's Anaya's recorder, and I can hear it in the background.
That is the devil's instrument, in my opinion.
Gateway instrument.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's why I appreciate the ukuleles.
Right?
Even when
All right,
played
looks good to
poorly,
me.
they sound great.
Motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Okay, can I get a second?
I can do it.
Is that Caitlin?
Yes.
Again, it's Caitlin. Thanks.
Yes.
Always you.
Just me and Jasmine.
Because you're the only ones reading it.
We keep it moving along.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Sarah, thank you so much for walking us through that. Let's actually go off topic really quickly. Matthew, I would love for you to talk about stargazing. When I went to the one meeting with a couple of the other HSCs, they were rather jealous that we were able to get stargazing done. So I would love to just get an update about how stargazing was.
I think it went great. We had lots of turnout, especially at the beginning at 7. And like we didn't know if it was going to happen until the very last day. There were the weather was uncertain, and it did. We were able to watch Saturn and Jupiter. I think the kids were super excited about it. There were 3 different telescopes, one deep sky, and the astronomers were fantastic. They answered a lot of questions the kids had. Yeah, no, I think it was great.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, Krista, you're up.
Excellent. So a star party was actually on my list. There's a quote that says, and it's attributed differently at different times. I probably should do some research, but I love the essence. It says, the cure to curiosity is, the cure to boredom is curiosity, and there is no cure for curiosity. So all night at the star party, there were a couple little ones just asking so many questions. And that's what we want for our students. If we can foster that curiosity and just wonder of the world around them, they will always be learners. And so it was a fantastic evening. And I think my favorite part was watching the kids ask questions, and these men who come out with their like amazing equipment. It's like some telescopes that I've probably only seen bigger ones in museums, or up in the name has left me, but up in Oakland at the observatory. I mean, it was really phenomenal what we were able to have access to just right here on our blacktop. So that was a fantastic event, and it just brought out so many questions and wonderings for kids. Book fair was also on my list. My story that I was going to tell, the story I've already told, but again, the rising tide opportunities for our students. I've had kids showing me books all week, and they're all little ones that were able to walk through Miss Pearl, and then other ones. All of our students have just been so excited about the books that they have. I think digital is an amazing tool. We have so many resources here, but there's something about holding a book that is different and important to maintain and keep kids connected to. We are in the middle of conferences, and so these opportunities for parents and teachers to connect and partner together as we support our students, these are really pivotal times just to celebrate our students and their progress, and also make those connections and figure out the things that we can learn from each other about each of the children that we work with in order to support them more. So parents have come out, and it's been fantastic to see so many people on campus. And just every day I hear a story from a teacher saying, oh, I had a great conversation with this parent, and we were able to connect about fill in the blank, whatever the thing that helps us continue that progress and momentum for our students. And so it takes a lot to schedule these for the teachers, for parents. I know parents have to take time off, or it changes their schedules, but it's a really meaningful and powerful part of what we do here. And I think, again, it's that partnership that makes the difference for our students. I think we have some exciting announcements coming up about walkathon, but again, another wonderful moment for the school where we come together and are working towards one goal and one focus, and get to have a lot of fun in the process. And so it's great to see, I have to say, every day between spirit wear and walkathon shirts, we have so much more school spirit this year. It's amazing what a couple of things can do. And so it's great to see that out on the blacktop. This year we had something brand new, and I think everybody welcomed and loved it. It was our October break. So that was a new thing this year that I think refreshed our students and energized our staff. And it was a nice moment to be able to break up our fall schedules, that gave families some important time to get away, and everyone some time to catch their breath and come back revived and refreshed as we make our way through into the fall and the holiday season. As we go into this part of the year, we finished up our first trimester. We're looking forward to our writing celebrations. So teachers are finishing up some of their units. Kids are getting able to share their stories and celebrate their ideas and their thoughts. And those are exciting things that we get to join our teachers in celebrating. And then again, last month, as I was looking through the notes, we had just filled up the Lion's Den, and we've done it again. So the positive supports that our teachers are always using to guide and help our students know how to make better choices and keep our school a respectful and kind place. It's great to see tangibly how our students are able to be acknowledged and known for those decisions that they are making. So we're looking forward to our second school-wide celebration that will be coming up soon. A quick note just for families, we always want to remember that our parking lot is a place where children do have to walk through. And I know we're all in a hurry in the mornings, but taking that extra minute means a lot in terms of the safety of our school. And so I'll probably be sending a few notices about that. But I think this time of year where we feel it, we've got the routines down and we're a little bit in a hurry, or it just takes a moment for us to have something that we can't take back. So that extra moment and that little bit of patience in the parking lot and around the school is really, really valuable and important. And it's just always something to pause and remind ourselves of as adults. And we are excited as we look into our holiday season, lots to celebrate as we continue to tell our stories of our families and our cultures and the successes that our students are doing and our teachers are bringing for our students. So that is my report.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any questions? Awesome. Lisa, you're up next.
I don't have a whole lot to share, but I will just reiterate, just thanks again for the book fair. As Ms. Lemons mentioned, just watching children attend the book fair and be able to select and purchase their own books and have them in their hand is priceless. And early literacy is where it's at. And the love of learning and reading begins so young. So thank you for providing that opportunity to our community. We also the TK and K team would like to thank you again for Zumba. We've been having a few sessions and the students are very engaged. And thank you for that opportunity. Miss Lacey wanted to thank the HSC committee for your communication and being so responsive quickly with your responses whenever she had a question. So she would like to say thank you. And I had many teachers wanting me to thank you for the donuts. The donuts on Walkathon Day provided a little extra energy for us. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you and all the teachers for all of your hard work, as always. And I think the donuts were on Halloween as well. Yeah. We also had Halloween since we all met last. It's been a very busy.
Was it Halloween or Walkathon? I can't. They kind of all blended together.
That is more than fair.
Thank you.
I
know. Awesome. Any questions about the teachers report? Jasmine, I do see you have one question in the comments. I think someone might have responded to you in the comments as well. Was that okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, let's I guess I jumped the gun, but Adana, looks like you were up introducing yourself again. You're happy to reintroduce yourself, or we can let the slide speak for itself.
No, I think I pretty much said everything on the slide. So,
awesome. Yeah. Welcome again.
Thank you.
Walkathon. So huge congratulations to the community. We were able to raise just under $74,000. So thank you so much to all of the parents and families and loved ones who donated. Thank you to their corporate sponsors as well for donating. Thank you to all of those who volunteered and spent time and supported the Walkathon in one way or the other. Special shout out to Jen Kubitz for leaving such a great playbook on how to do this. So lots and lots of thank yous. I think the community had lots of fun, the students in particular. I believe there was really great turnout from parents this year at the Walkathon. I promise that we will get music and audio and video right for one event that I'm part of. I think I'm 0 for 2 so far, but we will get it right at some point. Also, huge shout out to Miss Lacey and Miss Heacock for such awesome participation from their class. I think one thing that I heard is that Miss Lacey does like a handwritten note, And I think this helps drive participation. So thank you, Ms. Lacey, for going the extra mile. Some other metrics. So we had just over, 52% participation across the board. That is really good. I would love to work on seeing how we can get that a little bit higher. What I think is also really impressive is the average donation per student. Or the average donation per donation, which is just over $210. We were looking to get 200 per student. So it seems as though the families that are donating are sort of going above and beyond what's listed. So again, thank you to all of those families. Lots of lessons learned from the board. And for me personally, given that this is my first walkathon, lots of ways that I think we can improve next year. I think the kids love the Otter Pops. Anyone who volunteers to do Otter Pops, for example, as a lesson, bring gloves. That was definitely the hardest part, is trying to separate all those Otter Pops with our bare hands. I also love seeing the video where Kat got ran over when she was in the middle of the stampede from the students. I'm not sure we need as many tents. I don't think any teacher set under the tents to have their Otter Pops. They each had their own little section, so maybe next year we spread them out. But overall, I think a really great event. Any questions, comments, thoughts about this year's walkathon?
I'm just going to say it's not a Lietz event if there isn't a hiccup with audio. It's not you, it's every event. I thought it was super fun. The kids were adorable.
I love the theme this year. I like the Walking on Sunshine. It made for a really nice shirt, and it was a nice positive message that, everybody was excited about. That was great.
Well, Caitlin, since you've mentioned that, let's talk about next year's walkathon briefly. So one thing I would love to do is actually pre-approve 7 more themes and designs. That would give us 8 in total. This way, at the start of the year, whoever is running walkathon does not have to worry about what the theme is, and we can just rotate them. 8 is because any kid that starts in TK will hopefully just be at Lietz for 7 years, so they shouldn't see the same design twice. So if anyone has an idea, a concept, a theme, a design, please send it my way. I'm going to work with Cameron, who's volunteered to help here as well, to get, see if we can get 7 more themes approved and designed before the end of the school year. Unless there are any other questions, again, congratulations and thank you so much to the community for all the help and the donations with Walkathon. Kat, I believe you're up.
Hello. All right. So we only have so much before the year is over. Actually, the first one that's going to be coming up is our holiday bake sale is what we're going to be calling it. It's going to be on December 8th. So we are looking for people to bake for that and donate and also volunteer. I believe Molly is going to be the one that's still heading that up, even though we won't have any more ice creams, because this Friday is the last day of ice cream. So I know a lot of the kids are going to be really sad about that. So there is that. So the biggest thing that's going to be coming up before the end of the year is the winter workshop. And I am going to be heading that one up with Jen Sitter. We've already figured out all the items that we're doing. So we're working on ordering all that. And we will need volunteers. So, and then we do finally have one Spiritwear lead as well, Sarah. So she's joining our team. I'm really excited. I've already met with her. I've gotten her up to speed on a lot of things. So hopefully as the Spiritwear starts gaining more popularity, she'll be able to keep up with all that. All right, so if we can go to the next slide, I can talk a little bit more about Winter Workshop.
Actually, Pat, quick question for volunteers for the Winter Workshop. Do you need anyone for quality assurance of the treats?
Wait, for the Winter Workshop or for the bake sale?
For the bake sale, I'm sorry. And anyone on quality assurance for the bake sale?
Well, you know what? That's a good question.
Kids are not discerning, Jean. It's fine.
Kat, real quick question. So the ice cream sales will end this Friday, but the bake sales will continue on Friday?
No, so the bake sale, that's kind of like our last one. we made the decision, I think, to not do the bake sale anymore with the
Okay.
ice cream, because we were doing it the once a month, but then we kind of it was hard to find people to do stuff, so we were just kind of like, we're going to phase it out. But we do want to do a holiday bake sale for the end of the year, so we can do one more little thing. So
the ice cream sales are done and they won't pick up again?
for the year, but they're coming, they should be coming back next year, right?
Yes, it'll be back in April next year.
Okay. Thank
For
you,
the
Molly.
for the calendar year, not for the school
No,
year.
yeah, sorry, I mean,
It's calendar.
yes, 2023. All right, so winter workshop. Yes, Miss Lemons, I will send this over to you. So so the QR code, I'm gonna post the post on our website officially on Friday. Since we have the DEI meeting tomorrow, I wanted to make sure we go through all of it first. But this QR code will take you to that page. And these are the kind of the scheduled activities that we have. We may change some of these based off of when we get our supplies, if we can get everything in time. We did keep we did take the hot chocolate out, because I think that was one of the main complaints, was a little messy. The kids were eating the marshmallows, so we wanted to avoid doing any food type items for this one. So we're going back to making greeting cards, because Jen Sitter, if you guys don't know, she does a whole photography thing. So one of the things the kids are going to be making, we're going to take a photo of them, because she does have a whole printout station, and they're going to make a little gingerbread house photo frame to put that photo in to bring home. So I'm really excited to be able to do that for this year. That's kind of new. The Jingle Bell, we noticed was really popular with the kinders last year, but I noticed that the upper grades weren't a fan of the Jingle Bell. So we decided to keep that in for the kinders, and we're doing the Bottle of Wishes for the 2nd and 5th graders. So oh yes, Jasmine, the link is protected for right now, because I want to make sure that we go through everything with the DEI before we post it. So that will be unprotected on Friday when I officially post it. It was so that Jen can look at it too, so that we can work on it together. That was all. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. We will, Krista sent me the information about the times for all the grades. So hopefully we'll be able to get that information out to you guys soon. Any questions?
Nope. Excited. I know this is a popular.
I do have a quick question. Does this line up with Pajama Day again?
I don't know. I don't know that we don't know the spirit days. I know this Friday they're doing the stuffed animals. Who's in charge of the spirit days?
Student
council.
council is. That's
Oh,
freedom
okay.
to tell.
They picked them. Abby picked Stuffy Day. She's super pumped that it made it onto the list.
Ask her if it's pajama day.
We'll see when it is.
I think the pajama day was really cute last year with it. It worked really well. But I don't know if that's going to be the same, because that is the last Friday before the winter break. So okay, so these are the events that are coming up in some of the programs. We have been able to fill a few spots still, but as you can see, we do need stuff for the spring. Jen and Jen are still doing the spring carnival, but they do want some more help. Since Jen it's kind of her last year with us, or Jen Sitter, I should say, since she does have a 5th grader. We do need someone for the silent auction. So if someone is interested in that, please let us know. We have Winnie for our garden club. I know it's a work in progress. We are bringing that back for sure. But we would like more help with that. Molly, are you still looking for people to help with Treat Fridays?
No, I think that was for
Okay.
the bake sale. I think
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, like I said, we had Sarah, who recently joined us for Spirit Wear, but it would be nice to have somebody else to help her. So if you guys see something that you're interested in helping with, please reach out. It's fun.
Can I ask
promise.
which Sarah? I'm sorry to jump in. Which
Oh,
Sarah?
Sarah Hope. She has a 1st grader and a 3rd grader, I think.
I think a second.
Was it 2nd? I know
Yeah.
she has a
Sarah
1st grader.
Hole? Could it be Sarah
Hole.
Hole? Hole?
Yes. Sorry. That's my typo. But you are, yes, it's Sarah Hole.
Awesome. Thank you. Kat, you're up again.
Oh, well, so this is essentially what we just went over a little bit. We really, if anybody's interested in helping out with the silent auction for the spring carnival event, that would be great. It would also be great if anybody is also interested in helping with the carnival steering committee with Jen and Jen. And we would like, if someone else would also like to help with our garden club, which we are still work in progress of bringing all that back. I know we're still working on laying down the ground plan for the water. So, but if anyone's interested, just reach out to us. We'd be greatly appreciated.
Awesome.
I can give a little update. I met with Winnie this morning, and I've already put her in touch with a master gardener that I was working with last year. So I'm excited. She's excited, and those conversations have started. So I think one of the hard things about volunteering is you're going to feel like you're left alone, and just knowing that there's already partners can be helpful in getting people to join. So thank you all for that help in getting Winnie started, and we're looking forward to a good start.
Thank you. Next, we have our next DEI meeting tomorrow. I think that is also the last DEI meeting of the year. I know we will be talking about the winter workshop as well as the Sweetheart Dance, because that is the last DEI meeting before those two events happen. If you're interested in participating, giving your opinion, please feel free to reach out to Michelle, or if you're going to be invited to the next meeting. And all this information will also be on Parent Square. Volunteering with HSC, this is a continual plug for us, but there are multiple opportunities to volunteer. We will take anything from a half an hour to you joining the board like somebody did this week. So please reach out. It is really awesome, I think, for the students when their parents volunteer, their parents and their caretakers volunteer. I often see them talk a lot about whose parents was on campus and who was doing what. So I think you will be more than happy if you volunteer your time. Treasurer's report, Molly and Matthew.
Yes, can you go to the next slide? I think oh, that's fine. I can take over actually. Do you see my screen? Okay, so there are two things on the treasurer report that we wanted to talk about. First,
I think there's a request to zoom in a little bit more if you can. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm filling in for Tram, who had to step down for the moment, and I'm gonna do it this month. I think moving forward, Adana and Molly will do it themselves. But there are two items on the treasurer's report, I think. One is the statement of activity that we do every month, and then the second one is very important, is the revised budget that we mentioned in the HSC bulletin. And so yeah, I'll start with the statement of activity. But basically on that, we had a lot of, and the big item here is the walkathon income that's finished. We only have 48,000 because we are still waiting for benefited donations. There are about $22,000 of benefited donations and Bright funds also. So all these like donation platforms that company use to do company match, or even like just as a way to donate to us. That takes a long time to trickle down. So that's not gonna show up for at least the next month or so. Otherwise, Spiritware moved also a little bit because we had to purchase more, and also we sold a lot at Walkathon. Then about the expenditure, not much change here. We started getting income for field trips and expenses as well. Some money was used for Create with Clay, by Aaron Church. And I don't think any of that moved very much. Then school improvement, classroom donations, that is just money that we get and that we will give back during the year. So there isn't much to say about that. And then, yeah, some teacher grants, staff appreciation, we have a little bit of staff appreciation, and then teacher grants. Teachers are still filing reimbursement requests for the things they purchase in the classroom, and so that keeps increasing slowly but steadily. And yeah, I added the total balance. We are like $250,000 right now in the account, so we have a decent amount of reserves if things, if we don't have enough income. Which brings me to the just first, any other question? Any question on the statement of activity so far?
So the 73,000 was including anticipated income from Benevity and Bright Funds and things like that
Yes.
for walkathon. Okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna move on to the next big topic, the budget. So I try to make it digestible. There is a lot of information in there. And this is in green here, you can see the budget that was voted in September. And there was a bunch of new items in here. Notably, a lot of expenses, a lot of new expenses come from the 3 STEM projects that we added. One is science supply kits. The other one is CodeRev, the coding class, basically. And the last one was Generation Genius. All of these amount to like $16,000. So that's what was voted on. What happened is we realized, so we had walkathon, we have a better picture on how much income we're gonna have this year. We realized that we actually missed a bunch of items earlier this year, and we wanted to add them to allow expenses. There was some things at the same time, because we're doing this revote, I did some rework on the way the information was displayed. So I'll go one by one through all the items, all the new expenses that we're planning to have. One is knitting club, and that Jasmine asked. They didn't have a budget so far, but they need to purchase needles and some whatever is needed for knitting. Not a knitting guy. So we wanted to add a little bit of money for that. Same for Lego Club. They wanted to have a little bit of money to build their inventory. One thing that was very important that we didn't add earlier this year was Rising Tides. The way that Rising Tide was financed in the past was that we used to just give free entries for Sweetheart Dance, for instance. That's the main one. And so we would generate coupons, and they would be able to get seats for free on the website. Or entry to basically waive the entry fee. We think it makes sense to be explicit about this in the budget, just to have a cap and to know how much we're spending on that. That's one aspect of it. And the second aspect of it is because if we want to extend that to, let's say, buy spiritware, for instance, for Rising Tides, we shouldn't be doing it with the spiritware budget. It should really be coming from its own budget. Just to be transparent. And so that's why we added a specific line for that.
I have a question about budgeting for for Rising Tide. Pardon me. Would you like me to save my questions for the end or do it now?
No, I mean, you can ask now.
So are we counting stuff that has no cost for the school against this budget, or just things that have cost like Spirit Wear and Science Camp and things like that?
I mean, that's TBD. First year we are doing it.
Okay.
I think
because
yeah,
historically we haven't done anything that has actually cost money. It's been stuff that like was free for HSC. So okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's TBD. I think if we have a budget, I think we should account for everything. You know, right, and so far it was kind of hidden. But if we have a budget, we know we can pay for things that cost money, and also I think we should like, even for the free stuff, like you know, Sweetheart Dance, for instance, if we sell out, that means that there are going to be maybe 10 tickets that have no entry fee, and so we should put that into the budget somehow. If we don't sell out, that makes no difference, but if we do, then it should be explicit, I think.
I would say another part of the conversation was we had talked about possibly having a button on the website where people could donate addition towards Rising Tide. And if we are creating a system where there are designated funds, we have to have a way of accounting for those designated funds. So this allows them to do that as well.
So I don't think we're going to have a designated donation option for Rising Tide. Any donations we accept will be for the general fund. The only exception to that might be the 5th grade field trip. If we do a specific fundraiser for that, but any other donation will just be part of general HSC donations.
Yes. Okay, I'm moving on. Another thing that we modified is this assemblies field trip, which have always been combined in the past. So we set it's usually set to $10,000, which is a little weird. In this $10,000, we actually usually allocate 2,000 for school-wide assembly, 2,000 for the cornerstone assembly, and 6,000 for the field trip. I thought it was probably better if it was explicitly listed here because we have it in our internal budgets. So this $10,000 here is just these 3 items here combined together. So it's a wash, but at least it provides more transparency to everyone. Code Rev here shows up as new because it was accounted for as part of board approved extra, which was $8,000. And board approved extra is money that we as a board can use as discretionary expenses. For instance, if there is a new program, it's very hard for us if someone wants to create a new program to come back media and say, oh, you need $2,000. Well, we need to get that through a vote. Like we have some leeway into the budget by adding like $500 to a program, for instance, but we can't add like $1,000. So in order to make that more flexible, we create, I did that line board approved extra to say like, hey, up to like $5,000, we can create program without going back to the community and do a general vote. So this used to be $8,000 in the previous budget that was voted in November, but that was a mistake, I think. The $8,000 used to be, they were actually located, they were designed to be used for Code Rev, and it wasn't explicit in the budget. So I moved that to Code Rev here. This is the $8,000, and I added $5,000 of board approved extra just to, in case we need to create new programs later this year. This money may not be used at all, like you may use a little bit. But yeah, that's a discretionary expenses and the board you have. And like another thing we changed is the field trip bus grant, which was 9,000. it turns out that when the first grade teachers did their first field trip, they realized that the bus costs went up by about, they doubled this year. So they went up by $1,000. And the amount of money we set aside for that was just not sufficient. And so they were faced with, they were at the end of their fundraisers. So they were faced with like, either we don't add the money and they basically cancel their field trip, or we add the money and they go do their field trip. And so we decided to add it to the budget, $1,000 per grade to cover the bus cost if they were to increase. And so we'll see the first grade teacher, the third grade field trip has increased bus cost. We'll see how the other grades are doing, but this way we're covered. If they need money to go to a field trip, we can accommodate for that. Finally, I removed the marketing expenses. I guess we can use this was money that we put on the, in case we wanted to do some communications on Facebook, for instance. I guess we can use some board approved extra for that, or some of the miscellaneous expenses here if we need to. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That increases our expenditure by $12,000 potentially, which gets us to a projected deficit of $40,000. And there are a couple of things to say about that. One, it's potentially pretty big deficit. Two, we tend to underestimate our income and overestimate our expenses. And the reason for that is because we are tied by the bylaws to only pay what was decided in the budget. And so not every budget is going to use its full amount, but still, if one of them does, we still need to have it in the budget just to be able to pay for that. And so we like to get a little bit of wiggle room on each of these lines, even though it may not be always used. But it's very hard to predict how much we're gonna do. See, last year they had an initial budget which was deficit as well, and they ended up with an $8,000 increase. It's hard to predict. One of the things is the 3 STEM programs definitely increased our expenses. They were voted on earlier this year. And we need to see, like at some point next year, we need to see what we can do to have more income, I think. If we want to keep running these programs, given the deficit this year, it's pretty likely that we're gonna end up with a deficit. That said, we have about $240,000 on our account. I think it's okay to have a deficit for a little bit if we want to have these programs, but in reality, we need to figure out ways to increase our income as well. Otherwise, we don't want to live above our means for a long time. Otherwise, and if we do, then we'd have to cut some programs or decrease our expenses one way or another. There are a couple of things that we are thinking about for that. Maybe I think for the walkathon, increasing the participation rates is one key thing that I think has a big impact. And we've seen in the data we've seen that the classes with the highest participation also have the participation rate doesn't impact the average donation per participant. And so there is reasons to think that just by figuring the way to boost that average participation through better communication maybe, or more incentives, we could have a bigger what revenue. And so that will allow us to pay for this program. That's pretty much everything that needs to be said. And I don't know if, I'm sure some of you have questions. We're trying to do our best on these budgets and, you know, weight the benefits for kids in the community, but it's really a best guess every time.
So Matthew, thank you so much for walking us through this. I'm sure there are questions. This is very detailed and it's very, at least to me, clear as to sort of what's shifted since we first had a proposed budget in September. What I would love for people to take away some of the key messages here. Number one, we are looking at a deficit for this year, but there's a big asterisk next to that. That's if all of our expenses hit exactly as forecasted here and our revenue stays exactly the same. And we've been a little bit conservative on both ends. The second point there is that we as a board did not feel that there was a systematic nor fair way to cut any activities this year, nor did we want to be the board that did that, especially since we have a decent reserve so far. If nothing changes over the next, if nothing changes over the next 5 years, then we'll be in trouble in regards to our expenses versus our budget. But I think there's opportunities for us to increase our revenue and income over the next few years. What questions do we have about the budget?
Eugene, do you mind if I just talk for a minute?
Of course not.
Okay, so I just want to say, I have a 7th grader now who started at Lietz when he was a kindergartner, and I was a treasurer for 2 years, and I'm pretty sure that every year since we've been here, there has been a projected deficit, and since we've never had an actual deficit, right? So since I was treasurer, we had, I think, $120,000 in the bank. So we're still going up. So it does look worse on paper, like you said, because you have to be conservative about your costs and your income, but we are going up over time. And a discussion that we've had in the past is that as a nonprofit, we're not supposed to be going up and up and up without a plan. I mean, I'm not an expert on this, but our organization is supposed to be spending the money on programs for the kids and supporting the school and the teachers and our students. And so we're supposed to be spending what people are giving for that purpose. So to me, if we even did have a deficit this year for the first time, because we chose to spend it on programs like the coding and all these new things, that's why we're donating, because we want our children to have those opportunities. So from my perspective, I wouldn't be worried about this 1 year blip, right? Even if it goes down, then you compensate for it next year. But for right now, our commitment is to continue providing more and more opportunities for our kids. And that's what you're doing this year by adding these new things. So I sort of feel like it's okay to roll with the costs as you have them, see where it shakes out at the end of the year. And then if something needs to be adjusted next year, that's fine. But as somebody who's been watching this for a long time, I'm not super concerned, right, that the cost is going to be sinking us, because we keep getting worried, and then our bank account keeps going up.
Okay, I apologize if I wasn't, if I misstated our worry. I think we're almost 100% aligned with what you said. So we see that as a projected forecast. We are not worried given sort of the historical context. I think all we're saying, worst case, everything stays the same for the next 5 years. We might have to have a different discussion, but given sort of where we've been historically, I think we're all comfortable with how the budget is shaking out. So apologies if that wasn't clear, but I'm 100% aligned with what you said.
Okay. I just want
Um,
to, for any parents like watching, I've been watching it for a while, and it's like, yeah, that this is what we're supposed to be doing with the money. So like, I think it's great that we're spending extra money on those kinds of things.
And to tack on to what Caitlin said, especially with a newish board, you're always worried that you're not going to make any money and all that stuff. But I do think that this is a really good opportunity to take some of that extra stuff and get the things that we thought we couldn't afford before. Like, for example, we talked about getting another set of the risers that the choir has and the drama program has, so that they have more stage space. And also we don't have to rent stages for Evening Around the World and promotion. So those are things that we felt like historically we couldn't afford, because every board, and Caitlin can confirm, is really conservative because we're worried that we won't bring in the income.
You
And
don't
then
want
we're
to be the
amazing, we
one
do.
who overspent.
Right? So I think that
Got
would
it.
be a good direction to take some of that overage, so that we can first knock down some of that overage and put it towards things that HSE is paying for year over year. So that's, I'll send a specific request through the email-y thing, but I just wanted to put that out, that there are requests that the teachers and other programs want to make, but we're so used to being like, oh, there's no money, that nobody asks.
We hear you. That is something that we've talked about at the start of the year. That's something that we want to do, sort of use some of that reserve right now this year to fund some of those things. So we are open to ideas. I got a lot of great ideas from some of the other HSC boards. This is not a problem that is unique to us. It seems like a lot of other boards are having a similar issue. A lot of it stems from big increases since the pandemic. So we hear you now that we've had our walkathon over and we have a better idea of what's actually there. We can now start looking at what can we fund moving forward. Really great conversation on the budget. I do want to respect people's time, so I will jump to the last slide here. There are two things that were brought up in comments. Number one, Winnie wanted to let everyone know that she is welcoming anyone to the garden club, regardless of your garden experience. The second thing about the walkathon, I forgot to announce it. We will be giving out prizes for the top 3 classrooms. We'll be emailing those teachers to confirm the date. And then for the first place class, we had stated pizza, but there's a rumor that they prefer ice cream. So we might switch it to ice cream if that is what they want. So we'll be emailing those teachers. Hopefully we can align on one date to distribute the prizes to all 3 classes. But we will be giving out prizes to those classes. And the third place class was Miss Lermer's class.
Eugene, did we do the 5th grade winner again this year? I can't remember.
Yes, this is the way I'm sharing right now. We're gonna do a spin.
Oh, sorry, jumped the gun.
I forgot. I should have done this during the what announcement, but do you see it?
I do now. This is real time.
Okay. Do it. Ta-da. Drum rolls, drum rolls.
It's not spinning for us, but maybe I'm just delayed.
Oh. There we go. Kim Hein. That's the winner. Do you see it?
No.
Oh. My screen sharing is paused. Yeah.
But I will take your word on it that you actually spun it.
Seconded, I believe Matt too as well.
Yeah. Now if we spin it again, I don't know if that's if the second one is the actual one. So Kim Hein.
Okay, whatever. I guess we get in touch with that person, and yeah. Sorry about the whiskey now.
Are there any other questions, thoughts? All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining this meeting. Best of luck.
Not meeting again till January.
Correct. You'll not see us again until the end of the year. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, well, before that, we
sure.
will send a vote for the budget, very important,
Yes.
and we need enough time for people to vote on it, probably until next week, something like that.
Should we wait until we get, I mean, we can put the vote out now, but then actually close it like shortly after we get back from Thanksgiving break, or do you want to close it during Thanksgiving